Hello everybody. This is Nagman, back with another video, another recap. Let's get to it. So far, 2025 portfolio is doing pretty great in terms of comparison to the S&P 500. As you can see, the portfolio right now is sitting at 113,000 and some change. We are up 13, almost 13.5% year to date compared to 5.5% compared to the S&P 500. So we have a little bit of a lead right now. We don't know how long that's going to last, but the goal is going to be to keep that lead and continue to grow it. So things are good. Moving on. Just showing some weekly performance. The portfolio ended up this week 0.76% compared to S&P 500 ETF SPY. This is the comparison that you're seeing right here. And yeah, that ended down almost 0.1%. So that's a great week for me. As far as I'm concerned, that's the benchmark that we're going with. So I'm happy with those results. One thing I do want to point out is last time I made the video on June 23rd, our portfolio was sitting at about 99,900 and some change. Right now you see that the portfolio is 113,000 and some change. It's not that my portfolio gained by all that much. The difference that you see here from 99 to 113 is a combination of deposits that I made. So I added about $10,000 to this account. This was a cash deposit. And on top of that, the gain really is capital appreciation for the holdings in the account plus deposit. So the capital gains being the $3,883. So this is from June 23rd to July 11th. That's about 3 weeks. Pretty solid. I cannot complain. I just wanted to be transparent with everybody that I did not just gain almost $14,000 just in a matter of 3 weeks. Although at one point, I do hope that ends up being the case where we are actually making those type of gains. But right now, the pace that we are going at, I think we're kind of ways away from that. Anyways, moving on, I want to go over the plays that I made this week and the premiums that were collected. 6 trades were made this week. The companies that were involved were UPS, PayPal, Cloudflare, Tesla, and a put play on SPY. So for the UPS, it was a cash secured put where I collected $55, which it was actually a 102 put strike. And UPS actually closed below $102, and I was actually assigned those shares, which I'm actually okay with. I think I'm going to be aggressive going forward, trying to sell covered calls to make some premium back. So no big deal there, but something to monitor. I'll keep you guys updated as we progress on how that trade goes. PayPal was a covered call. So this was executed early this week, around Monday, I think. But this was not a weekly contract, unlike all the other plays that you see here. Just to be able to generate some additional premium, I wanted to go 2 weeks out for a $78 call, which right now I'm up on a lot because PayPal, along with the other fintech, fell bigly because of the JP Morgan report out where they will be changing their fee structure for the data that is, I think, how these fintechs operate is they use the customer data from the banks to use something. I got to look more into that. If you already have some sort of insight, please leave it in the comment below. That's still something that I need to investigate because it did dropped PayPal significantly, around from like $76, $77 all the way down to like 71, 72. So that's a pretty big drop considering PayPal is a pretty slow mover. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. But if that's also on your watch list, drop a comment. Sharing is caring, right? So moving on. Cloudflare. This was an interesting one. I don't own shares for the stock. I wasn't comfortable selling cash secured puts, but given that the stock was up so much on the week, I decided to sell a credit spread for 202 and 202.5 call strike. So made it a spread, collected $45, and it ended up going my way, expired worthless. So that was great. Because Cloudflare ended up dropping down to, like, when I sold it, Cloudflare was hovering around $190-ish, 94, I believe. But then it dropped down to like 180 and ended the week in mid 180s. But I still collected up $45. That's a win. So that was on a $45 collected on a $250 risk. So that ends up being around what, like 18%? Yeah, 18% return on what was risk. So this was pretty solid. Tesla. So I actually didn't sell the cash secured put on Tesla. I actually did this. This was my way of conserving capital. I did like where Tesla was, but I actually opted to sell cash secured puts on the ETF that's called TSLL, which is a 2x leveraged Tesla based on Tesla. And I sold 2 contracts on this. So these were cash secured puts on TSLL for $32 each. So this actually was $64 collected here. And SPY. This was, so everything here, this is premium selling except for SPY, where early on Monday, SPY showed some weakness, and I decided to go with it for 1 day till expiration contract. So I bought it on Monday, which had the expiration for Tuesday, and as soon as SPY had knifed down, I banked on the $76. So that actually ended up being great for me as well. And just to make sure, so I think our final tally for the profit that we made just by our option trades was $332. And one thing I do want to make sure is that the $32 that I'm showing here, that actually is duplicated because it was 2 contracts, and it actually is. So yeah, we just did a quick calculation. But yeah, so weekly total of the profits and the collected premiums, $332, which brings us to the next thing, which is talking about just the premiums collected so far in 2005. And we are right now sitting at 7,596, which actually also includes the interest that we've collected. And this data is true until Sunday, July 13th. I know this is on the bottom, you'll see that it says July 12th, but that's here nor there because stock market's closed and nothing's moving. So this data, as Monday comes, will be true as of Sunday. So we've got ROI on the capital, our initial capital of 10.5%. And as we had talked about here, our profits here were $332 for the week. But so far, just for including the premiums, not looking at the interest at all, we are averaging about $261 a week. So we had an above average week. That's why the $332 is kind of a big deal. So that's all I got, guys. If you have questions on any of the stuff that I said, any trades that I made, or if you want more detailed analysis on what exactly the option contracts were, what my thought process was, and what do I want to do going forward. So any questions you have, if you enjoyed the video up until this point, guys, please leave a comment below and hit the like button. I don't know if anybody's watching, but that would kind of give me some sort of feedback from a comment, a like, subscription, whatever it is. Anyways, I will see you on the next one. Have a good rest of your weekend.